The story opens with a sniper named Dasa, who has been concealed inside a tunnel for many hours. She is patiently waiting for one thing only: her target. Dasa has been assigned to assassinate a high-ranking government official at a nearby airport. After a short while, a plane touches down on the runway. The moment Dasa identifies her mark, she pulls the trigger and takes him out with a single shot from several kilometers away. Her aim is so precise that the security personnel at the airport have no idea who fired the bullet or from what location it was launched. Once the mission is done, Dasa heads to her mother's grave, where her father is already standing. Here, we discover another detail about her. Every time she kills someone with her rifle, she keeps the empty shell casing. Later on, she hands all of those casings over to her father. Dasa is a hired gun, a professional assassin who has already taken many lives for money. She doesn't actually take any pleasure in killing, but it has become her line of work. Giving those spent shells to her father helps ease the weight of guilt in her heart, if only a little. Dasa tells her father, "I've accepted a new assignment. It's going to last for an entire year, so I may not be able to visit you during that time." Her father replies, "Every year you come by and give me a few bullet casings, but next year that won't happen. My cancer has reached its final stage. I don't have long left, and if I don't die naturally in the next few days, then on February 14th, Valentine's Day, I'll end my own life. I have nothing left to live for. Your mother is gone, and you can only come once or twice a year because of your job. So this might be the last time we see each other." Hearing this, tears begin to fill Dasa's eyes. The scene then shifts to the story's second main character, Levi. His life is a complete mess. He's plagued by terrifying nightmares and struggles to sleep at all. One night, after waking up from yet another bad dream, Levi leaves his house and walks down to the seashore. The fresh air calms him a bit, and he starts jotting thoughts into his diary. At that very moment, a sudden message pops up on his phone. It contains an address and an order. Get there immediately. Without hesitation, Levi heads straight to a military base, where he meets a female officer named Barto. During their talk, we learn that Levi is far from ordinary. He once served in the army, but is now retired. On top of that, he used to be an elite sniper, who has taken out more than 200 people from long range. Barto tells him, "I want to send you on a special mission. You're an exceptional marksman. Only you can pull this off." Before she sends him out, though, Barto asks, "If you go on this mission, is there anyone back home who would miss you?" The question hits Levi in a weird way, but he answers, "No. There's no one left in this world for me." Hearing this, the officer says, "Then get ready. In a few hours you'll be deployed, and you'll have to stay at your post for 1 full year." Levi is then drugged and loses consciousness. When he wakes up, he's already on an airplane. He has no idea what's happening or where he's being transported. Confused, he asks one of the soldiers on board where they're taking him. The soldier doesn't explain anything. He only says, "Give me your ID and your watch. You'll get them back when your mission is over." After some time, the soldier returns and tells him, "It's time for your jump. In a few minutes, we'll enter a restricted no-fly zone, and we're not authorized to go any further." He adds one crucial instruction. "Once you land, walk 32 kilometers north, on foot. That's where your mission site is." They hand Levi a parachute, and as soon as the door opens, he jumps and lands safely. But this is where the real ordeal begins. He now has to trek 32 kilometers across rough terrain. After marching for 2 days straight, Levi finally reaches his destination. The landscape is desolate and eerily silent, so empty that not even birds can be seen. Suddenly, he encounters a man named JD. JD has been stationed here on a 1-year mission. His service is complete, and Levi is here to replace him. JD leads Levi to a watchtower. Once they reach the top, Levi still has no clue what his actual duty is. When he asks, JD explains, "Right here is a very deep chasm we call the God Pit. It's an extremely deep, mysterious hole. No one has ever made it to the bottom. Your job is simple. You are to guard this pit." JD then lays out the strict rules of the post. You're allowed to contact headquarters only once a month. No matter what happens, don't expect to stay connected to the outside world. This tower, which we call the West Tower, stands directly opposite the East Tower. That one belongs to Russia. They have a guard there doing the same job as you. But you are not allowed to communicate with each other at all. Your attention must stay on your duty alone. He continues, always be ready for danger because an attack can come at any time. There are automated guns installed all around, and a number of landmines buried in the ground. And one last rule. If you ever hear a loud siren, don't hesitate for even a second. Just run. I don't know the reason for that order, but I'm passing on exactly what the man before me told me. Levi takes in every word, but one question still bothers him. What exactly is down there that needs such extreme protection? JD pulls out a grenade and tosses it into the pit. When it detonates, a bizarre, horrifying noise echoes up from the depths. It doesn't sound human at all. The noise clearly comes from something lurking in the darkness. JD glances at Levi and says, "That sound you hear belongs to the creatures we call hollow men. They live inside the pit. Your responsibility is to make sure not a single one of them ever gets out." Rumor has it that back in 1940, the US Army sent 2,400 soldiers into this pit to wipe out the creatures. But to this day, not even one of those soldiers has returned alive. After finishing his explanation and giving Levi all the necessary information, JD starts getting ready to go home. His 1-year shift is finally over, and now Levi will take over for the next 12 months. JD bids Levi farewell and heads out. He's overjoyed that he's finally going back after a whole year, but he has no idea what fate has in store for him. At the extraction point, a helicopter arrives to pick him up. A rope is dropped, and JD begins climbing. A soldier inside the chopper first asks him to verify his identity. JD provides all his details. As soon as he finishes, the soldier shoots him and cuts the rope, sending JD's body plunging down. At that moment, one thing becomes brutally clear. Whoever is assigned to this place never leaves alive. Next, we jump to the following day. Levi starts carrying out his duties. He checks the existing reports and reloads the automatic guns that are low on ammo. Time passes like this, day after day. Eventually, a month goes by. Levi begins to feel the crushing weight of isolation. Am I really going to live here, completely alone, for a whole year? He wonders. No one to speak to, nothing to entertain myself with. To kill time, he decides to read the books stored in the cupboard. When he pulls them out, he notices something behind it. On the wall are dozens of messages. They're notes from all the previous guards who served in this tower before him. Every one of them talks about fear, loneliness, and the constant threat of the hollow men. One day, Levi hears mechanical noises coming from the opposite side. He quickly grabs his telescope and peers toward the east tower in the distance. There, he spots a woman. She's Dasa, who has been posted at the east tower because of her incredible sniping talent. The moment Levi sees her, he's captivated. He can't look away from her, but he also knows he's not allowed to speak with her. That would break the rules. On her side, Dasa is also aware that a guard is stationed at the West Tower, Levi. Time keeps passing, and both of them wrestle with the same thought. Should they try to communicate or not? A few days later, Dasa's birthday arrives. Feeling completely alone, she starts thinking she needs someone to talk to. She decides to reach out to Levi. Using a whiteboard, she writes a message and holds it up. "What's your name?" Levi remembers the regulations and writes back, "We're not allowed to reveal our names." Dasa just smiles and writes, "My name is Dasa." Levi, without overthinking it, writes his name too. Levi. She writes again, "Today is my birthday." She then starts dancing joyfully to celebrate. After that, she asks, "Do you know how to dance?" Levi answers, "No, I can't dance at all." Dasa then asks, "So what are you good at?" Levi writes, "I'm pretty good at shooting." Dasa decides to put that to the test. She places a small bottle on her tower where he can see it. Levi lines up a shot and blasts the bottle to pieces with a single bullet. Not to be outdone, Dasa shows off her own marksmanship and hits her targets flawlessly. Little by little, their silent conversations grow more frequent. But while they're exchanging messages one day, Dasa glances down at the pit and suddenly stiffens. She quickly signals Levi to look beneath them. When Levi looks down, his eyes widen in horror. Not just a handful, but thousands of creatures are clawing their way upward. Without hesitation, Levi grabs his sniper rifle and starts picking them off, one after another. However, the horde is enormous, and he can't hold them back alone. Dasa joins in, unleashing a storm of bullets from her machine gun. Soon the monsters reach Dasa's tower as well. Both of them keep firing from their respective posts. Levi then notices that one creature has managed to climb all the way to the top of Dasa's tower and is about to attack her. From the west tower, he executes a perfect long-range shot and drops the creature in an instant. When the fight is finally over and the creatures retreat or die, Dasa smiles and writes, "This was the best birthday of my life." With their bond now formed, they start enjoying their days. The loneliness that once crushed them begins to fade. But one day, Dasa's mood plunges. It's February 14th, and she remembers her father's words. "If cancer doesn't kill me in the next few days, I'll take my own life on February 14th. She writes on her board, "Today I feel really alone. It would be nice if someone were here with me." Levi has wanted to meet Dasa in person since the first time he saw her, and now he can't hold back any longer. He decides to go to her tower. He figures out a way to reach the east side using a rocket launcher. The next morning, he fires a line from the launcher, sending a strong rope across to Dasa's tower. She steps outside and secures the rope to a tree so Levi can cross. Levi immediately starts sliding across the rope toward the east tower. Halfway through, he runs into trouble. The slope ends, and he's forced to pull himself along using only his arms. After nearly half an hour of exhausting effort, he finally makes it to Dasa's tower. Dasa greets him and jokes, "You smell like sweat. Take a shower first, then we'll talk." Levi laughs and simply nods. While he bathes in the tower's shower, Dasa mischievously hides his clothes somewhere else and watches him through the CCTV cameras. Later, they sit together and talk for a long time. Dasa shares her life story, explaining that she has no one left in the world. Her father was the only person she had, and he likely ended his life the day before. Levi, in turn, opens up about his haunting nightmares and the trauma from his service in the US Army. As they talk, night settles in. Dasa puts on soft music, and they start dancing slowly. They move closer and closer until a romance begins to blossom between them. After a while, Levi smiles at her and says, "I wrote a poem for you. When we get out of here, I'll give it to you." The next day, Levi has to go back to his own tower. He says goodbye and starts heading back along the rope. Dasa watches him make his way across, but then they notice creatures swarming up toward the towers again. One of the creatures triggers a landmine. A fragment from the blast slices through the rope, and Levi plummets into the pit. Seeing Levi fall, Dasa acts without hesitation. She grabs a parachute and leaps into the pit after him. Dasa drops deep into the chasm and lands in a fast-moving underground river. She struggles against the current, but manages to swim to the riverbank. Levi, by sheer luck, crashes onto the branches of a huge tree, which break his fall. When he comes to, he sees a gigantic worm-like monster crawling toward him, ready to attack. He tries to defend himself, but the branch beneath him snaps, and he tumbles down onto the tree's roots. The roots begin wrapping around him, restraining him tightly. Just before they can crush the life out of him, Dasa arrives. She whips out her knife and slices through the roots until Levi is free. They both look around, trying to get their bearings. Out of nowhere, several horrifying creatures rush them from behind the trees. A brutal fight erupts. Levi grabs his gun and plants a bullet straight into one monster's skull. One after another, the two of them manage to take down both attackers. Levi then notices something disturbing. The corpse of one of the creatures is clad in an old American military uniform. He suddenly recalls JD's story, that in 1940, 10,400 American soldiers were sent into the pit, and not one ever came back. Levi and Dasa continue deeper until they reach a nightmarish place. Rotting human bodies lie scattered everywhere, and plants are sprouting from their flesh. It looks like a deadly infection has completely taken over. They suddenly hear movement in the trees again and realize the creatures are chasing them once more. As they flee, Levi spots a tunnel carved into the mountainside. They rush inside and discover it's actually an abandoned research facility. The place is wrecked. Broken glass, shattered equipment, rusted containers all over the floor. Levi finds an old DVD and plays it. A woman appears on screen and explains, "We were working here on a top-secret chemical missile project. Hundreds of scientists were involved. Then, one day, a powerful earthquake struck. The impact caused the missile's chemical agent to leak, releasing toxic gas into the atmosphere. Within hours, people started becoming infected. I'm infected too," she says, revealing her stomach. "We reported everything to the military and begged them to bomb this entire area to contain the infection. They refused." After watching the recording, Levi discovers a modern computer in the lab. He's stunned. How can such advanced tech be sitting in a place that looks this old? He powers it on and is shocked by what he finds. The data reveals a company named Dark Lake, a private organization that creates paramilitary forces. Dark Lake has been collecting infected samples from this pit to run experiments, turning their soldiers into enhanced super soldiers. That's why no country ever wanted this location destroyed. Levi also learns that a gigantic missile lies buried within the pit. If triggered, it will obliterate everything within a radius of 4.2 kilometers. Now, Levi and Dasa finally see the bigger picture. The woman who sent them here, Lady Bartow, is the owner of this facility and has been exploiting it for her own twisted goals. To protect the secret, she always recruited people who had nobody waiting for them. After they completed a year of duty, they were executed, just like JD, so no one could ever expose the truth. As they prepare to escape, a monstrous rider on horseback appears, lassoing Dasa and dragging her away. Levi desperately searches for her, but can't find her anywhere. During his search, he comes across the colossal missile mentioned in the Dark Lake files. It all clicks now. The earlier guards who warned, "If you hear the siren, run for your life. We're talking about this weapon." Meanwhile, Dasa is still bound by the creature. She struggles wildly until she finally breaks free. A vicious battle follows between her and the monster. Levi arrives just in time to assist, and together they set the creature ablaze, reducing it to ashes. Now they have only one goal: to get out alive. But the path ahead is even more horrifying. They stumble into an area where human bodies and vegetation seem fused together, as if some grotesque experiment has merged them. They step cautiously, but Dasa slips, activating the sentient plants. Vines coil around her, trapping her in place. Levi charges forward, using all his strength to tear the vines away. He then uses a bomb to blow up the entire network of plants. They barely escape with their lives. After walking a bit farther, they find a garage containing a Jeep. They jump inside and drive off, trying to find any route that leads upward. Before long, they spot a long rope stretching up toward the watchtower above. Unfortunately, the creatures have followed them there as well. Climbing hand over hand would turn them into easy prey. So Levi thinks fast. He secures the rope to the Jeep and uses the vehicle itself to ascend, riding it upward while keeping their hands free to fight. The creatures attack in waves and a violent battle erupts. The odds are against them. Levi quickly hatches another idea. He opens the Jeep's fuel tank and lets petrol drip down onto the monsters, then ignites it. Flames engulf the creatures, burning them alive. At last, they manage to reach the top. Now they both know the truth. Even if they obediently serve out their full year, they'll still be killed afterward. So they make a daring choice. They will no longer defend this place. Instead, they'll destroy it completely, so no other soldier ever gets trapped here again. After that, they'll disappear and begin a new life together somewhere far away. Dasa tells Levi, "I have a safe place in France. We'll go there, get married, and spend the rest of our lives together." Levi agrees, but says he needs to return to his tower first. "I'll plant explosives there," he explains, "and I'll trigger the missile too. That way the whole site will be erased." Levi climbs back up to his tower. While he's there, Lady Bartow contacts him and suspiciously asks, "Did you go down into the pit? Someone switched on our computer." Levi lies. "No, I never went there." But Bartow already knows the truth. She's watched everything through the security cameras and knows both Levi and Dasa entered the pit. Pretending ignorance, she says, "If you didn't go, then it must have been the guard in the West Tower. Here's what you'll do. Kill the person in the West Tower." Dasa broke protocol. Levi agrees out loud, but Bartow isn't fooled. She realizes he won't shoot Dasa and that the two of them are planning to flee and expose her secret, so she decides to come in person. By the time she heads out, Levi and Dasa have already set their plan in motion. Levi backs away from the tower to a long distance and lines up the most difficult shot of his life. He fires at the tower's base, hitting the section connected to the missile. Immediately, a piercing siren begins to scream. The countdown has started. Levi and Dasa run with everything they've got, knowing that when the missile goes off, it will annihilate everything within a 4.2-kilometer radius. They race through the forest at full speed. Dasa manages to get far enough away to be safe, but Levi's injured leg slows him down. At the same time, Bartow realizes the missile is about to detonate. Moments later, it does. A massive blast rips through the land. The pit collapses in on itself. Fire and shockwaves surge outward in all directions. Bartow's helicopter is caught in the explosion, and she is killed instantly. Dasa survives because she made it beyond the danger zone, but Levi is caught in the blast. The shockwave hurls him into the water below. The pit and all of its monstrous inhabitants are completely wiped out. Only Dasa remains. She stands on a high cliff, waiting for Levi to appear. Night falls, and still he doesn't come. Tears stream down her face as she accepts that Levi is gone. Months later, the story jumps forward. Dasa has built a new life for herself, working as a waitress in a hotel in France. One day, as she turns around, she freezes in disbelief. Levi is standing right there. He survived. She runs to him and wraps him in a tight embrace. With that emotional reunion, the story reaches its conclusion. If you like this recap, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more stories like this.